but I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I don't even think there's ever been a man in my life who's been interested in me beyond just my body. 100%. And that has developed into some deep rooted insecurities.
I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I discovered my purpose. Yes, in my singleness, is it strange to say, but I feel like I've been my own boyfriend in my singleness, or I really loved on myself.
I am 30 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. Let me tell you guys one thing. It is that being single is not scary.
Where are the girlies that never had a boyfriend? I'm 36. I've never had a boyfriend. Quite frankly, people think that I'm crazy, but I think that my first boyfriend is going to be my husband.
Don't feel like you're behind in life, because you absolutely aren't. We're all on our own timelines. And I just want you to know that it's okay to feel sad and to feel lonely and to feel like you're behind. But I just want to remind you that you're absolutely not alone.
Hi, my name is Naomi. I'm 31 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been in a relationship, had a situationship, been in a talking phase. I don't even remember the last time I had a crush, to be honest.
I am so glad I waited until I was 33 to get married. And honestly, it's crazy because people are like, 33 is still so young. You are right. I literally think I'm a teenage bride. It's gonna feel like communication. It's gonna feel like safety.
I'm more confident than I've ever been. I'm more bold than I've ever been. I'm able to really get a grasp on what my gifts and talents are and share those things with the world to what feels authentic to me.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. In this video, we will be talking about women that are 30 years and above and never had a boyfriend. We live in a society that is male-centered. It is all about relationship and marriage for them. Being a young lady that is of age, the way they put it, and you don't have a boyfriend is very abnormal in the patriarchy society. Let's hear your story.
I am almost 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. And I am embarrassed about that. I actually truly am embarrassed about that. I'm kind of in shock I'm even admitting it on the internet right now. But I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I don't even think there's ever been a man in my life who's been interested in me beyond just my body. 100%. And that has developed into some deep rooted insecurities. I have never even had a man have a crush on me, ever. I didn't have a Valentine growing up. I didn't have any of that. Never had a school boyfriend. Didn't even have my first kiss until I was 22 years old. And it was the same night I lost my virginity. Was the day I had my first real kiss. Like, where someone actually kissed me. I had a kiss in a truth or dare game one time when I was 17 years old. And it was that. But I'm talking a real kiss. And the thought of being almost 30 and never having had a boyfriend and no prospects of it genuinely terrifies me. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to live alone. I enjoy being single, but it is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. I want a boyfriend and I want a family. And I think sometimes I feel like women who are single and are happy to be single, like I don't think there's anything wrong with being single. I'm fine with being single right now. I just don't want to be single forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to ever say that, you know? Like, I am single now, but I don't want to be single forever. I'm happy where I am now, but I don't want to stay here forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to say that. So I'm saying it. I'm almost 30, never had a boyfriend, and I want one. Speaking it to existence, I guess.
I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. Did I go on dates? Yes. Did I meet good men? Yes. I just haven't found my person. Friends and family ask, why is she still single her whole life? What's wrong with being single? First of all, my singleness, I learned my strength. I found my voice. In singleness, I discovered my purpose. Yes, in my singleness, is it strange to say, but I feel like I've been my own boyfriend in my singleness, or I really loved on myself my whole life. Do I hear your standards are too high on a daily basis? Yes. Do I also hear if you wait too long, all quality men will be not available anymore? Yes. I'm being very honest. I do ask God probably once a week is your purpose. But why are you doing it for such and such? It's God's timing.
As a lady, if you've been single for so long and you're older, dating becomes more difficult. More difficult on your part because you become more picky, because you now know who you are up to an extent. You know what you want, and you wouldn't want to date any random man, any man that does not know who he is, that does not know what he wants. Many women out there practicing being single by choice are doing so because of the lack of quality men. Many men out there are not self-aware. They are not intentional. It means a lot for you to be self-aware. Self-awareness is very important. You need that for a relationship to thrive. You need to understand who you are, your core person, your core values before wanting to get into a relationship with someone else. If you don't understand yourself, how then would you understand the next person? Self-awareness, self-discovery, self-respect comes with personal development, self-development. I guess I was talking to the birds because the men don't want to hear it. Please ignore my background. It's night, the light is too bright in my eyes, so I just decided to use a different color of light.
I am 30 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. Let me tell you guys one thing. It is that being single is not scary. I made this video recently to this trending sound. It was like, cheers to Emily, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I made the caption like, this is what it feels like to be 30 years old and never having had a boyfriend. Oh yes, it does feel like that a lot of the times. You know, you watch your friends and people get into relationships, get out of relationships, find new relationships. Meanwhile, you're mostly just like the third wheel or in failed situationship after situationship. Of course, yes, that can make you feel lonely or it can be upsetting. Like, I get that, trust me. Even like a kick to the ego sometimes because you're like, why is this not happening for me? I've seen so many comments on that post like, oh my gosh, like I'm terrified that this is gonna be me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I feel like in society, we look at like being in a relationship as like you won at life. Really think about it. Is it though? Of course, yes, it's nice to find, you know, your partner and like fall in love and all of that, especially in this economy. Financially, yeah. I still love my life. I have a great family. I have great friends. I've moved to where I wanted to move. I lived in Florida for 3 years. Now I currently live in Nashville. I have a job. An okay job. Would I like it to pay me more? Of course. I'm able to spend money on myself and things I want to do. And yes, like I said, it can get lonely, but there's like a special type of like freedom that comes with being single. I think if you are single or, you know, are worried that you're gonna be single forever, like enjoy this time because I do think that we'll all eventually find our person. Like I definitely am still optimistic about that. Take this time when you're single to like really learn about yourself. I truly believe if I ever was in a relationship like in my early 20s, I would not be the person that I am today. Growing up, I've always been kind of like a very big pushover. I honestly like don't think a relationship would have been healthy for me like at that time. Much more confident in myself now and like able to like stand my ground. Also just like knowing that I'm okay being alone is such like, it's really a nice feeling to have because I know that I don't need anybody else but myself. I don't know, I feel like our generation and stuff just worries so much about finding someone to spend their life with. Like if you don't have that, then like you haven't fully succeeded in life. Yeah, I just want the takeaway of this video to be that like being single is not scary. Do not be scared of being single. Just like ranted for 3 minutes. But anyways, as always, I love you guys. Bye.
Y'all, where are the girlies that never had a boyfriend? I'm 36. I've never had a boyfriend. Quite frankly, people think that I'm crazy, but I think that my first boyfriend is gonna be my husband. I'm convinced. Number one, for me to even think about making you my boyfriend, I must really like you. I don't really be liking people like that. I want to be one of those girls that can like see people like, oh, I love him. I can't. I feel like I got too much common sense to just be falling in love. Love is a choice, babes. A choice. Sometimes I feel like I'm like too realistic for love. Like I've always been a very logical girly. Like I'm Delulu for fun, but I've always been a very logical girly where I'm like, yeah, this don't make sense. Yeah, this ain't gonna line up. Yeah, the way you live your life is not gonna rock with me. Yeah, I don't really see us having a future because this is what I want. I think I'm too logical. They always try to say girls are emotional. No, I'm logical. Like there was this guy that I pretty much grew up with. I met him when I was like 19 and he was never my boyfriend, but we were like, I don't know, for years. And people always swore that I was going to end up with him, but I always knew in the back of my head that I wasn't. Like, I think his mama thought that we were going to end up together, and I always knew that we would not. I mean, I had a good time, but I knew that it wasn't it. It wasn't it for me. And for real, at this big age, I'm too old to be falling in love for love. Bro, it gotta make sense, hun. You know? We're going for stability, for how we're gonna make it to the end of life. I don't know. I want like a travel partner, a workout buddy. Like, I just want common sense things. I would like to not work as much, but in this economy, that might not be possible. I mean, I work part-time, preferably per diem. I ain't go through all this school to not work, but I would like to just hang up my degrees and be like, you know, to my future kids, look, mommy wasn't dumb. She was actually really smart. She did all of the things, but your dad made life easy.
See why men would prefer women to get married in the 20s, why they would prefer women to date in their 20s. Because when we get older as women, we start seeing things the way they are supposed to be seen. She's talking about love. What exactly is love? I keep asking this question. What exactly is romantic love? I'm not talking about humanity love. Romantic love. What exactly is that? All them butterflies in your stomach, fantasies and all that. No, the focus should be, how is this person treating me? If you treat me right, I'm going to have that feelings for you. But if you treat me wrong, no feelings. We end relationship. Let's be more practical. Practicality. Be logical. You can't claim to be loving someone and the person is maltreating you. What kind of love is that? Where are your senses?
I'm 31. I've never had a boyfriend. I still live at home with my parents, and I used to be so embarrassed, so ashamed, and just totally felt like something was completely wrong with me. Like, why am I one of the only people that struggle with this? But over the year, I have realized that I'm not alone. And what I've done to make myself feel better about this is I've changed my mindset around being single, around not having a boyfriend yet, around still living at home with my parents at the age of 31. And instead of feeling sorry for myself and pitying myself, which is what I've done a lot in the past, I instead have changed my mindset to be things will happen when they're meant to happen. And I have not met my right person yet because I'm not ready for it. And I have not met my partner yet because I have been working on myself to get to a position where they have also been working on themselves. So if you're also single, if you've never been in a relationship, if you're still living with your parents and you're figuring your life out, or maybe you're happy doing that, don't feel like you're behind in life because you absolutely aren't. We're all on our own timelines. And I just want you to know that it's okay to feel sad and to feel lonely and to feel like you're behind. But I just want to remind you that you're absolutely not alone, okay?
Hi, my name is Naomi. I'm 31 years old, and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been in a relationship, had a situationship, been in a talking phase. I don't even remember the last time I had a crush, to be honest. And for the longest time, I was so ashamed of this fact. I was so scared of what others thought of me and how they would judge me and think that there's something wrong with me or that I'm a weirdo or a freak, but none of that is true. And there are actually thousands of us who have had the same experience, or should I say, lack of experience. So welcome to the Hopeful Romantics Club, my new podcast where I'll be diving deeper into this conversation and sharing my journey of dating intentionally for the first time at 31. For my entire life, I truly believe that God was hiding me. It felt like he had a Harry Potter invisibility cloak that he just tossed on over me. For a long time, that did bring me comfort. He's saving me from heartbreak and trauma and all of that. But then I recently heard a quote from a psychologist that really clicked things into place. And he said, you can have trauma from things that never happened. And I definitely feel like I have trauma from having never been pursued, never desired, seen, asked out. I really struggle with self-esteem, self-confidence. I'm happy to say there has been improvement within the last couple of months, but it's definitely been tough. And it definitely all comes in waves, especially loneliness. I'm actually just coming out of a deep, dark, feels like a tsunami kind of wave of loneliness where the future feels hopeless and I feel like I'm forever going to be alone. Thank you for making this a safe space where I can share my journey and my experience. And a reminder to the girl who's never had a boyfriend before that you are not alone.
Let's read some comments. I'm 21 and I fear this might be me in the future. Girl, this is so me. I'm 32 now and I've never had either, not a boyfriend or even a date. I struggle with the apps because it seems overwhelming. 26 years, never been ashamed about it because I have friends in the same situation. 22 and I have never had a boyfriend. Or 34 and in the same boat. Nice to know I'm not alone. I'm 25, almost 26 and I'm on the same boat. I've been trying dating apps but it's not working. There's so much work I need to do on myself before getting into a relationship though. I would want to believe that we all know the stigma and societal pressure that comes with being single in your 30s. The most important thing is your personal happiness, not the societal expectation. If you decide to go by what the society wants and you end up getting married to a bad man, a man that is not good for you, just bear in mind that the society is not going to save you. The society will not be there to save you. Your friends, your family members, your church members, they will not be there to save you. You are the one in the relationship and you will be forced to face whatever consequences it is by yourself. So it's very important for you to always put your happiness above everything. There are so many positive things that comes with being single in your 30s. I think I've already mentioned some of it. It gives you time to understand yourself better. It creates opportunity for you to know exactly what you want and the person you want. I'm not in any way saying that people that are in their 30s don't make bad decisions when it comes to choosing a man. Some people still do that. Wisdom and knowledge, they say, comes with age, but not for everybody. So people get married in their 30s and still get divorced. Please don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying here is this: in your 30s, you're more matured, more life experience to help you make better decisions when it comes to choosing a man or dating a man. It's going to be less of butterflies in your stomach, your emotions and all that, and more of how functional is that relationship to you, the functionality of that relationship, because you need to get into a relationship that is functional to you, relationship that is going to assist you in life and make your life better, not a relationship that is going to use you as a slave and control you. Let's hear from women that got married later in life.
Believe me, I know. It was absolutely wild. I think it's very important for women who, at any age, but definitely in your mid-20s and late 20s, it's okay to not be close to marriage. It is very typical and usual to not be close to marriage. For some reason, I'm 33, and when I was in my mid-20s, I don't know if it was where I lived or what, but like, it was very normal to get married in your mid to late 20s, and at 33, I was on the later side. But I gotta say, and I say this to women who are in like their 20s all the time when asked about it, I am so glad I waited until I was 33 to get married. And honestly, it's crazy because people are like, 33 is still so young. You are right. I literally think I'm a teenage bride. I look at my husband sometimes, I'm like, are we allowed to be married right now? I'm so glad I waited till I was in my 30s to get married. Is one, I learned so much about myself, and specifically when it came to my relationship, the ways and I needed to change and the person that I needed to be to have a successful relationship. Mid-20s Maria didn't know that. Second, I got a chance to meet the right person for me. It is wild. If you would have talked to mid-20s Maria, who she would explain is the right person for her. And the biggest thing I learned that I would tell 20-some-year-old Maria is that you are going to marry the man that makes you feel calm. That calmness is going to feel like security. It's going to feel like communication. It's going to feel like safety. It's someone who is really your partner through and through, and it's a love on a different level. It's not like the butterflies. It's like a safe, calm home feeling. And finally, because I just had a blast in my 20s and definitely my early 30s, just living my life for me. And now that I'm married, people are like, oh, when are you going to have kids? Not for some time. I'm still doing things. I have dreams to achieve, goals to chase, fun to have. I like sleeping in. I'm not ready for that yet. And I'm still so young. So yeah, I just want to make sure that's like not the narrative on any videos I put out, is that like 33 years old to get married. It's not. I just happened to be the last out of my friend group. But like truly, like, I think I'm too young to be married. Anyway, mid-30s women, I'm interested, like, do you have a lot of friends who got married when they were in their mid to late 20s? I feel like we did, and then now I am seeing that people are getting married later, which I'm personally happy about. I'm a big advocate for it. I'm an advocate for when it's right for you, but I just had the best time of my life in my mid-20s. I'm glad I was married.
I met my husband when I was 37. I got engaged and married at 38. I had my first child at 39. I became a homeowner at 40. I am 43 now, and I'm just getting to the point in life where I feel like I can do whatever I want. I'm more confident than I've ever been. I'm more bold than I've ever been. I'm able to really get a grasp on what my gifts and talents are and share those things with the world. I didn't have that courage when I was in my 20s. So if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're feeling like life has passed you by and you haven't figured everything out just yet, you really don't have to. You really don't have to. I tried to cosplay as a career woman when I was younger. I tried to be like everyone else and try to get a job where I could maybe try to get ahead and try to make more money and try to climb the ladder. It never worked for me. Every single time I would take another step on the rung of the ladder, I would get kicked off. But the truth is, I was always meant to be a stay-at-home mom. I was always meant to be a housewife. I know it's going to offend some people because this life is not for everybody, but this was always my destiny. I love what I'm doing right now more than ever, and I have the opportunity to pursue my passion projects, things that I never would have done before when a traditional job outside of the home was taking up all of my time. If I had really understood in my 20s and 30s that this is the life I really wanted and that really suited me, I would have done this sooner, but I was so busy pretending to be something that I wasn't because I didn't have the courage in my youth to just be me. I was too embarrassed to say what I really wanted and what I was really all about. At 43, I don't care what anyone says about me. And people on this app say craziness about me. People in real life say craziness about me. But I am so grateful that I have leaned in to what feels authentic to me. So I don't know what that is for you, but lean into it. It's all gonna work out in time.
I am in my late 30s and I am now getting married. And on top of that, my fiance is Swedish. So I have moved to Sweden. And let me tell you, I would not have it any other way. Not at all. I was not ready to get married in my 20s. No way. I wish I could go back in time, talk to my 20-year-old version of myself and smack her around. What I've done that I'm so happy I did, and what I think many more women are doing now as they take their time for marriage, is I took the time to get a sense of self, to discover my sense of self, to really embody my authenticity, to truly walk down the street, be at work, show up in friendships with my true sense of self shining through. And that to me is what ultimately led me to even meeting my fiance, who is my mirror. Your relationships are your mirror. If you're exercising that way of being, you will find people who are also doing the same. That's life. Look at your relationships, they're a giant mirror. But I want to say this because I think a lot of women look at marriage, especially if you're a little bit younger, as the end all be all. Like, if I get married, my life will just automatically be better. Like, think of marriage as a new board game, right? Or a new section of the board game. You know that game Life, where you start off with like one person in your car, and the next thing you know, you get married and you have kids, all whatever that game is. But essentially, you're now stepping into either a whole new board game or a different area you've never been in. But to win the game, which to me is just being able to navigate your life in the highest way for your highest good, you're gonna need to know who the hell you are. You're gonna need to have a great sense of self. And when you do that, innately, the people that you're with, especially if you're in healthy relationships, it's going to enable them, your partner, your future husband, to show up the best way they can. It's just like this contagious effect of authenticity. It's a safeness, it's a vulnerability. So it will have its challenges, of course, but we have to start treating this as a sense of self being a prerequisite to these higher milestones of relationships, such as marriage, because it's not the end all be all, it is just the beginning.
Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you'd love to see more videos like this, click this video to watch the Man of the Year trend. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.